Hello to T-Bago, Mike Claroni, and Battler Britain. Glad you could make it. Welcome to another stream. Uh, so this is fast becoming our weekly Dorf Romantic slot. So we'll be diving into some more Dorf action in a moment. Last week we had quite some success with this game. Um, I tried speedrunning the two longer categories of speedrun and set a world record in both of them. And it is worth pointing out that nobody had ever attempted the fourth category before. So it's just a case of actually finishing it. If I can get the capture working. Uh, One moment. I will just briefly head over to speedrun.com because my runs have been accepted. Well, two of my runs have been accepted. The two that I submitted 2 weeks ago when I did the first two runs, not the ones from last week, but I'm sure by next week they will have been accepted. So here I am in second place on the 2,000 point leaderboard and first place on the 5,000 point leaderboard. So that is my first speedrun run world record and possibly my only one. Hello to Ophelia6277, who is also a Dorf Romantic streamer, although tends to play it at a slightly slower pace than I do, let's put it that way. I will do you a shout out because if there's anybody here who likes this game, then this is definitely somebody that you should be following. Hello also to Pro Stoic. Yes, this is my comfy stream on a Friday night. Saturday is Scrabble and Sunday is Polybridge usually. Yes, slightly so. I think that there have been times in your stream, Ophelia, where an hour or so has passed and you haven't actually placed any tiles, but that's fine. It's just a cozy chatting stream. So in the 10,000 point category last week, we achieved a time of just under 10 minutes, which is comfortably first place. And we set a time for 25,000 of 37 minutes. So hopefully next week those will be up. In the meantime, we will head back to Dorf. Let's see. I think I had the volume a bit loud last week. I'll try it there, but let me know if the volume is wrong. Now, I don't want to do any more speedruns because I'm a bit tired and it's a bit stressful. So today we are going to be trying out the new monthly mode because it's a new month. September's monthly mode is no more. I had a go at it my last stream and did reasonably well. I think I was about 20th place on the leaderboard at the end. But that was a very difficult monthly mode. So this month is something a little different. We have a new feature which you won't have seen before, at least on this stream, which is we have this border and we are only allowed to place tiles within that area. So there are quite a few modes that have a limited number of tiles, but they usually are not too fussed about where you place them. Here we have to plan very carefully so that we leave ourselves able to fill in every space in this grid. Yes, Ophelia, I completely understand. Chat needs attention, and yes, sometimes you get a bad tile, and you want to drag out the process of having to deal with it. You've tried the monthly mode. Yes, I thought you might have done. Well, I haven't tried it yet, so yeah, I have no high score yet. I will give it a go and see how I do. Yes, it's going to be quicker than the last one. But I can see myself running into trouble as we get nearer the edges. Especially with things like railways, because there's going to be nowhere to put them. So I will see how it goes. So straight away I have to think about where I'm going to have everything, I think. Yeah, as usual, railways and rivers are going to be the trickiest part. Let's assume that I get at least one water drain station thing and put that there. It'll be interesting to see if we get the same tiles in the same order every time you play through this mode, like we did last month. Hello, Few! Welcome to the stream. Sorry you just missed Dustin's stream a few minutes ago. Glad you can make this one. Few making a point of washing everything up. Yes, so Few, I don't think you play this game yourself, but it is one that you enjoy. When we get some little trains and boats moving. I'm sorry to report that there are currently none, but if you give me a few minutes, yeah, I might be able to have something for you. Also, Few, if you're able to make tomorrow's stream, which will be starting around 9 PM my time, so 4 PM-ish Eastern time, I will be playing Scrabble variants again. So if you'd like to try out playing the egg tile and or Pokemon, then be sure to join me. Yeah, I mean, we'll try and stay away from that sort of thing in the context of this game, Few. But yes, I think that's a fairly common thing. Make sure we can actually complete this forest. And this housing area is done for us already, which is convenient. So the first few tiles of this game play exactly like a normal classic mode Dorf game would. But we are already approaching the edge on this side, so we are quickly going to run out of space. And at that point, we are just going to be trying to squeeze as many points as we can out of the space we have available. Which means it's probably bad idea to fail quests, which I have already failed one. Scrabble but hexagons. Yeah, so this is the thing for you. Hexagonal Scrabble has been tried and it doesn't really work. I mean, it's a bit hard to visualize here because obviously we're not looking at Scrabble tiles. But if you imagine that you played a word like this. So you've got a word along here, and then you want to play another word through this word. So obviously a main part of Scrabble is playing words that join onto other words. You can either play like that, or you can play like that. And in both cases, yeah, you've either got a two-letter word formed here and here, or you've got two-letter words formed here and here. So it's very difficult to actually play Scrabble on a hexagonal grid. Because you have to make every play has to make 3 other parallel plays. Honestly, 3D Scrabble just sounds like it would break my brain completely. I already have difficulty visualizing the Scrabble board in 2 dimensions, let alone 3. And Ruby, hello, and yes, that's not quite what I meant. Hello, Ruby. Thank you for joining me. I'm not sure if you're at work in a meeting or something, but feel free to lurk. I think I can finish this quest if I do that. I think the sound might actually be a little bit too quiet. I'm just going to turn it up slightly. There we go. Let me know if that's too loud. Where to put this tile now? Oh, sorry to hear that, Ruby. You've been having a bit of a stressful time at work. It sounds like. Um, yes. Hopefully this is a way for you to unwind. I hope everything's okay. 7, 7, 7. Oh, right. Okay. So what you did was you divided a normal square Scrabble board into 9. No, sorry, 7. Oh, right. Yeah, 7 areas, and then those areas served as the other dimension. But that makes it quite hard to visualize. I think it would work better as a computer game where the computer could show you the 3D slices. But yeah, I would still struggle to visualize it, I think. Yeah. Yeah, and 4D Scrabble again possible, but you'd need to take multiple 3D boards and then stack those, and I think I mean, it might be within Fuse capability to visualize that, but I think it might be beyond me. We got this. Oh yeah, I can sympathise with that, Ruby. I don't think we work exactly the same sort of role, but my job also involves clients and printing things, so I can absolutely sympathise with that. I don't do design work personally. I'm on the IT side of things, but yeah, I can definitely sympathise. Oh, that's a quest. That's annoying. 3 quests. Okay, that might be doable over here. Yeah, Ruby, I've definitely been there. That's a situation that's very familiar to me. You had a meeting with the client? I mean, I don't know what you work in. You're a programmer, aren't you? So I'm guessing these are IT meetings that you're having. Yes, Ruby. If I didn't know you were on the West Coast, I could think you work in the same place as me. That sounds very familiar. Yes, we have a client who will send us stuff which has already been approved by one of their internal departments. We will then send them some proofs, and they will then have to get it approved by all their other internal departments. And that often results in completely changing what it was that they'd sent us in the first place. And then we can be thinking we're almost ready to go live, and then they suddenly, another department that we hadn't even heard of, decides they've got a problem with it, and all hell breaks loose. It's a wonder some of it gets finished at all. Hey, having clients, I mean, the alternative is probably worse for you because then you wouldn't get paid. I also would rather not have clients, if we're being honest here. But sometimes you got to do what you got to do. And my idea is to surround this entirely with. Well, yeah. I mean, if you're salaried, you'd still get paid short term, but long term, if you didn't have any clients, then eventually you wouldn't be generating any business. Where to put this one? I'm a bit worried I'm going to end up with rivers going to places that I can't finish. Good there. Well, you say just get more funding views. Sometimes that's harder than it sounds. Yes. I am very, very grateful that I've found a role where I don't have to interact face to face with the general public. Retail is not some. I just don't think I could personally handle it at all. Just being who I am, and I am very grateful that I don't have to. Honestly, since COVID, I don't even go into shops anymore because I don't like that experience from either side, to be honest. Right, so we have our water train station here, which is good. So I need to finish this quest first. I am going to fail this quest, so that might have proven to be bad planning, but we'll see how that affects our score. Bit wary of leaving a lot of rivers that I can't complete lying around. Fired from old company, but rehired at new funded company with same people. Okay. Well, there must have been someone at your old company who thought you were a good employee then, because otherwise they wouldn't have rehired you. So that's good. Yes, I've been in my current job now for 11 years. I don't have much of an incentive to move at the moment. It's all full-time remote, and the pay is enough to get by on. But yeah, I won't go into too much detail, but it is in the print industry, and obviously that is something that's declining as everything is sort of moving online. I mean, let's be honest, anyone with any sense has already stopped sending people physical letters by this point. But there are some sectors, public sector especially, it's taking them a while to catch up with technology on that front. But you know, software development is software development. I'm sure I could get a role somewhere else if I had to. Yes, Ruby, it's I guess unlikely you take on British clients where you are. But, I would like to put this here, but it's got a quest attached, so I probably should try to attach it to this field in the hope that I can finish it. This is where we start running into trouble with this game mode, because I'm being forced to fit things into these corners, and they're inevitably going to fit very suboptimally. I'm not going to be able to pick a tile that matches on every side. Cardboard box manufacturer, okay. Well, there'll always be a demand for cardboard boxes. Yeah, ask for some manufacturing samples for you and make a fort out of them. Okay, we can end this railway, which is good, but we need another 3 pieces for the quest, so hopefully I get pieces that fit here in this corner and everything's nice and neat. I've just realised something else about this game mode, which is you have these flags. Normally the way you complete a flag quest is by closing off the forest or field or whatever. But it doesn't count the edges of the play area as closing it off, so I can't actually complete this flag because, yeah, these 3 edges are stuck. So I really like as the end, curious it will help you. Oh, so you mean, will it give you tiles that fit the space you have left? I'm hoping it does, Ophelia. I have a feeling what it will probably do, because the rivers and rails, you have to put a rail here. I suspect, for example, if I left this tile till last, it would give me one that had a rail on, because otherwise I'd just be stuck. But you know, here, for example, it won't necessarily give me one with fields. So I think it will only help me a little bit. If I move this forest over here, I might actually have enough trees to complete this quest. We'll find out. Maybe not there. About this field. Yeah, I think that the end of this mode is going to have a lot of unfulfilled quests, unfortunately. Yeah, it's just not quite there. If I do that leaves 3. I do that... Oh, right. I don't need that one. There we are. Okay. I managed to finish these 2 quests at the expense of not really matching any edges here. Maybe the matched edges would actually be worth more than the quests, because obviously I've got no danger of running out of tiles here. I've got 81 tiles to spare. Yeah, now I've got nowhere to put fields, so I'll just sort of stick them down here, I guess. Yeah, I'm not actually going to be able to finish. I'll leave 3 tiles here just in case I do get a railway. So I'm not going to try and complete these forest quests. Yeah, looks like it's just going to continue throwing quests at you whether you want them or not. These placements are all terrible, but never mind. I'll just play it out and see what score I get. Okay, we finished the river quest at least. Okay, yeah, so I've now got only a couple of tiles left to place. If I go here... Ah, yeah. It just skipped a tile. I don't know if you saw that. On the tile stack there was a river tile that wasn't a dead end, so it wouldn't have gone in either of these places. And it's now forced me to take a train station, which obviously fits any of those 3. So if I put it here... Yeah, see, it skips tiles until I get one that fits. So skip. Okay, and then here, now I've got one with a river. There we go. Okay, 62nd place on the leaderboard, so not a particularly great run, but it was just my first attempt. Yeah, and it works as long as there's enough left. Yeah, obviously, if you skip too many tiles, you would run out. I don't think there's any danger of running out of tiles in this mode, because I still had about 60 left on that. So I'll run that back and see if I can beat 5,150. And it looks like, in fact, the answer is yes, you do get the same tiles again, because I'm fairly sure this was the first 4 tiles I got. So much like last monthly mode, somebody sufficiently dedicated could sit down and figure out the optimum placement of all these tiles. I don't think I quite have time to do that. But yes, if I think through, I'll just try arranging things a bit differently at the start and see how it goes from there, I think. Hello, Cloyce. Welcome to the stream. Those of you interested in Scrabble, Cloyce has also been streaming a bit of Scrabble lately. Although you also play other games, including speedruns, I believe. I was just showing off my first place on the speedrun.com leaderboard for this game, Cloyce, to chat, which has finally been verified after 2 weeks. I'm going to go put that here, and then I think I can arrange this nicely. There we go. Yes, so I now have the world record in 3 out of 4 categories on this game, all except the fastest category, the 2,000 point, where the current world record holder admitted they got very lucky on that. Now that sounds impressive, but only about 4 people run it, so... I think it was originally a suggestion in this stream. Somebody said, "Why don't you speedrun this game?" Like as a joke, because I didn't even realise there were speedrun categories. But yeah, it went better than I expected, I guess. Yes, I suppose that is true, Close. There were a lot of games that were never designed with speedrunning in mind. Some of the most popular games. This one in particular, I think, does reward thinking carefully about where you're going to place each tile, which is not something you can do in a speedrun. But there we go. Xando Toaster, hello. This might be your first time here. If so, welcome. Speedrun, yes. So you got into Scrabble by speedrunning the PlayStation 1 version, I think it was. Certainly an older console version of Scrabble, which. Yes, it's fun to go back to games like that. Obviously, Scrabble was never intended to be speedrun. Good to see other Scrabble streamers in my stream. If there is anybody here who is looking for more Scrabble content and does not already follow Xando Toaster Cloyce, then please do so. I'm gonna have my train station thingy here this time, I think. Yes, Dorf and Spelunky. Yes, so I forgot to actually say which game it is. Yes, Cloyce runs Spelunky. And is very good at it. I've watched a couple of your run attempts, Cloyce, and I think you. I have tried Spelunky, and I think you got further in the game in about 30 seconds than I've ever got playing it myself. I just die immediately to something or other. Thanks, Xando. Yes. I don't know if you're lurking or you're busy, but today I am not speedrunning. I am just casually playing the monthly challenge and seeing if I can climb higher than 62nd place on the leaderboard. I swear that's lower than it was when I. Other people are playing this and beating me in real time. This is kind of forced to go here. The one benefit of this mode is you can put pretty much whatever nonsense you like on this outside edge and not worry about it having to match up later. What's interesting, I think, is although I'm getting the same tiles, I'm definitely getting the same tiles in the same order because I remember getting this three-way rail tile. I'm not getting the same quests in the same order. At this point in the last game, I had a water quest active, and I don't have one now. So it's interesting. There must be something in the game that decides when to give a quest that has decided not to give one this time. Let's bring the river over here. I think this next tile coming up is a quest tile because it's got a boat on it. A few, I don't know if you're still here, you might finally get to see a boat. Yes, you are still here. That's okay. Here we are. Look, here's a boat. And it's even moving straight away, not just sitting there like they do sometimes. I might actually build the water around the edge because that way I don't have to match it with as many edges. kind of messed up here because I've got this quest that needs a lot of fields, and which would be mostly fulfilled if I put it here. But I've also got this quest, so I might have two separate field quests going on. This. Yeah, I should have remembered to leave a disconnected tile. If I angled this tile so that the land edge was here, I could put this tile here and not connect it, and then. But yeah, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll start another bit of water over here, and then connect them up. Excuse me. Just quickly zoom in on this boat so that few can appreciate it. We're about to make the boat very happy by completing its quest. I'll go that way. And then the plan is eventually I'll connect all these bits of water up. Yes, every time you want to see this, you want to play Carcassonne. So this is very similar to Carcassonne. It involves building little towns and fields, and it involves matching edges of tiles. The biggest difference being, I guess, that it's based on hexagons rather than squares. It it doesn't have a piece named after you. Are you saying that Carcassonne does have a piece named after you? Oh, right, okay, it has cloisters. Yes, that's true, actually. In fact, if you buy all the expansions, it has just about everything you could possibly think of. I suppose it also reminds you of Settlers of Catan because of the hexagon. You don't have to match edges in that game. I'm just going to stick this in the corner and put all the things on the outside so I don't have to match them with anything. I can put this here and likewise have the river on the outside so I could ignore it. Do this now and then the quest is done. Yeah, we'll do that. That way I don't accidentally fail it later. same thing there. I think I'll just get the quest done. Is this? This is gonna. Yeah, this is gonna fail if I connect it, so I won't connect it yet. I'll just continue building water over here. Connect that piece, which I planned to do all along. I'm just wondering if I actually have room to place 9 more water towers without making this connection. I do, but only just. So I'll fill up as much of it with water as I can. Railway end piece here, I think. I feel like I'm getting more perfect placements than I did last time, which is a start. Yeah, I can complete this forest now. This 9 plus will be completed if I connect that. Annoying because it would fit nicely there, but I think I will try and complete this quest, so I'll put it over there. Yeah, we're at the stage now where we're running out of good places for the tiles, so I'm just going to put them wherever. By the way, if anyone is interested in any of the speed runs I did on this and they didn't catch the original streams, I have all 4 of them as highlights on my channel page. I've also posted them on YouTube just because speedrun.com prefers YouTube links because Twitch takes things down eventually. Okay, it's time to connect this. I'll do these 2 quests. Definitely running out of places to put railway. I'm going to have to put that there. I've packed myself into a corner with this, literally. I can't complete that anymore. Oh well. This piece of water does not fit. I'll have to just stick it right on the edge like that. Actually, I could be cheeky. If I put this here, Does that force the game to give me water tiles, which then guarantees at least one edge matches? Let's try that, see if that works out. Yeah, if I do that. Yeah, now everything, now it will skip things until they match. So I guarantee getting at least a couple of matching edges on these last few tiles. As long as, right. Yeah, that's going to match there. It's going to skip to here, which I can put here. Now, let's see if it skips 58 tiles. Because if so, I lose. It's trying to fill this. Ah, there we go. Okay. We didn't lose. My face cam has frozen. Give me one moment while I reset it. Sorry about that. Let me know if my facecam isn't working. I think it is working now. It just seems to be a weekly thing. Usually on my Friday stream, I think my facecam just switches off, and the image freezes and I have to restart it. What happened? Says Few. The game will skip tiles if there's a forced placement like these rails here. So it skipped about 20 tiles until it found one that matched. In the end, I didn't even beat my high score, so that run didn't go quite as well. I thought I did alright with the water, but the rest of it was a bit rough and ready. Yes, Few, I'm sure you don't care what I look like, and maybe you even prefer not having to see me on stream, but I like it this way. The whole reason I'm streaming is to try and build confidence with myself being on camera, so if I'm not on camera, that kind of defeats the point. Few would like me to end the stream. There is a channel point redeem to do that if you feel like saving up 10,000 points. But if not, I've only been going 15 minutes, so I'm going to carry on, if that's alright with you. I'll do one more attempt of the monthly mode, and then I'll move on to something else. Do you lose score when you can't play tiles? No. So if the game skips a tile in the stack because there's nowhere to put it, that has no effect on your score. Obviously, if you run out of tiles, it's game over, and you miss out on the potential points you could have scored with those tiles. This is the monthly challenge mode, so it's a little bit different to the normal mode. In the normal game mode, this border here isn't there. The playing area is effectively infinite in all directions, and you're just trying to play as many tiles as possible before you run out. So you start with 40, and when you complete quests, you get 5 tiles for each quest completed. And when you perfectly match all edges of a tile, you also get another tile back for every tile you perfectly match. So that's the way in which you the game works. This is all a bit different because you're never going to run out of tiles in an area this small. So the mechanics sort of work a bit differently, and it's just trying to pack as much into this space as you can. Yes, Few, I have lost all my points. That is generally how games like this work. I've just started a new run. Xander, if you're able to stick around for another... Well, actually, I'd say after this. I'll just quickly hop into my classic mode game. So classic mode was the original mode of the game. You just place tiles and try and match them. As you could tell by the score and by how long it's taking the game to actually load this in, you can keep going a while and create quite a big area. So yeah, this is the sort of default mode of the game, where you are just trying to you're just trying to go on for as long as possible without losing effectively. And when this finishes loading in just a moment, you'll see that my tile stack is 1028 tiles. So I'm clearly in no danger of losing anytime soon. Once you get to a certain point in the classic mode, you can go on forever, basically. The high score on this is probably about 10 million points. And at that point, it's just a case of how long can you bother to play the game for, and can your PC even handle loading in a level this big? um, Hi there, hi Slip. Welcome to Dorf Romantic, which is one of the other things I stream apart from Scrabble. I believe you are a Scrabbler, so if you want to see some Scrabble content, then please join me this time tomorrow when I'll be playing Scrabble. But for now, I'm doing this relaxing puzzle game. You can kind of see the strategy that I've employed with my giant classic mode world here. I put all the rivers in one place, all the trees in one place, all the houses in one place, all the fields in one place, and so on. When the developers of the game realised that you could keep it going forever, basically, they introduced a hard mode, which works the same as a classic mode, except that the tiles are more awkward. As you can see, my high score on that is a lot lower. But there is actually someone who's managed to get the hard mode going infinitely as well, and is up to several million on that. So yeah, there are definitely people better at this game than me. Yes, Few, actually this does look a bit like Louisiana with all these rivers. I suppose you could say each area of this looks a bit like a different part of the country. You could say this area is, well, anywhere that's forested. This is a big city. This is, well, Iowa, I guess. It's flat and full of fields. So at what point is it infinite? So the classic mode starts with 40 tiles, and you, in the early stages of the game, you tend to sort of lose those tiles because you're completing quests slower than you're placing the tiles. And eventually you sort of reach an equilibrium where you're gaining tiles faster than you lose them. So the trick is just getting to that point without getting a game over by running out of tiles first. I play this. This is just something I come back to every now and then. If I'm tired and can't be bothered to play anything else, I'll just load up this classic mode game and place a few tiles on it. At some point, I will try hard mode again because I think 10,000 is beatable on that. There's a couple of other modes. There's a creative mode where you can essentially just design your own level by placing whatever tiles you want. There's a quick mode, which is just you place 75,000 and it's over. And then there's this monthly challenge mode, which changes every month. And since this is my first time playing it in October, this challenge is new to me, so I'm just trying it out. My first two attempts were not particularly good. But yeah, the tile stack mechanic doesn't really apply in this mode because it's going to be over before you need to worry about running out of tiles. Yeah, I just picked Iowa as a random example for you. I'm sure people who are actually from America can provide better examples. I seem to remember that the second railway you get has fields on it. So if I can somehow plan to have a field next to the railway, it might be a good idea. Well, that was kind of my point for you when I was showing the field area of my map, which is just fields and it's flat. But yeah, I mean, your food has to come from somewhere for you. Let's put this tile here. I know I'm splitting the quest up here, but these are only small quests, so I think I can complete them. I'm planning this to fit in a rail tile that I know is coming, which has fields on it. And then I can put the water tile over here, these houses on. Probably like that. You did an impromptu cross-country road trip with your dad last year, and he specifically wanted to stop in Iowa because the field from the movie Field of Dreams is there. Iowa's only land, so the only landmark is a field, which I'm guessing looks very much like the other fields. I have only been to America once. When I was a lot younger. My family. It was in August 2001. Haven't been back since. The airport security measures have been beefed up a bit since then. I did not see you there as a baby, but I didn't go to the West Coast, Ruby. So, but yeah, you are. I forget how old you are, but yeah, I was about 8 then, so you probably would have been a baby. Oh, you were a baby in Florida. Ah, I didn't realise you'd moved around so much, Ruby. I mean, I still probably didn't see you. America is quite big. It'd be funny if I did, though, wouldn't it? No, I don't. Florida, Illinois, California, and Virginia. Okay, that's quite a few places. In the UK, I've only lived in one place, which is rural Somerset. If you don't count when I was at university, when I lived in York for 4 years. York was nice. It is a city, but it's a very small city. I think by American standards, it's not even a city at all. I don't like big places. I don't feel comfortable in large crowds. It's just how I am. So rural places suit me better. Not judging anyone else who is different. Orlando isn't in the shopping mall with theme parks. Yeah, because Disneyland is there, isn't it? So that makes sense. Yeah, I can imagine native Floridians probably don't see much of them with all the tourists and people who've retired there. You lived in Oregon all your life. Well, I'm glad you have somewhere that you like. I'm very happy to hear that. This is annoying because I could close off this forest, but it would be 8 trees short, so I need to go like that instead. Ruby would rather be back on the East Coast? I mean, that would be nice, Ruby, because it would mean I could watch your streams. But then that shouldn't really be a factor in where you live. You prefer the weather, and yeah, everything's a bit more spread out in the west. I mean, it's all relative, is it? distance is very different in the UK. There's a saying that in America 100 years is a long time, and in Europe 100 miles is a long distance. I can drive to anywhere in the UK before some Americans could even get out of their own state. So it's not really a scale that I'm familiar with. No, it's not particularly hot here. The UK in autumn is just sort of... I can't remember it in freedom units, but it's about 14 to 18 degrees Celsius at the moment. Wiggly wiggly rivers to place here. If I do that, that's okay, I think. You went to Death Valley when it was 130. Yeah, that's pretty hot. I've never experienced temperatures that high. The hottest temperatures I've ever experienced, I think, was last year when it got to just under 40 degrees here in the UK. I suppose climate change means that that's going to be happening more often as time goes on. Let's build a little pond over here. Keep leaving this hole until I get a tile that fits it, but I'm not getting a tile that fits it. I think I might just put this one in there. So I can do that and then put that one in there. No, that doesn't fit either. Okay, no, I'll put this one in here. Yeah, put that there, because then at least that fits nicely there. It's a compromise. Yeah, so Teabago is going to be experiencing roughly the same climate as me. So yes, that's about what it is here. Okay, I would like to put this here, but it fails this quest because it needs exactly one, which is annoying. So I'll put it... No, that fails the quest as well. Okay, I think I might just have to fail this quest for the sake of... The perfect tile is... This perfect placement is worth more than the quest is worth. Quests are 50 points, perfect placements are 60 points, so that's the priority. I don't want to create water over here, so I'm going to have to put this railway this way round. Okay, yeah, now we've... For anyone who's not aware, these quest symbols, they have a number on them, and then some of them have a plus after the number. the number is how many more tiles you need to place to finish that quest, and the plus means you can place more tiles than that, and that's okay. So with this railway, this quest needs one more railway piece to complete. This one needs 3. If it doesn't have a plus after it, that means it needs exactly that number of tiles. So you have to be careful. If I was to place this water quest on its own and then later link it up to a river that already had more than 17 tiles in, then that would fail the quest. So fortunately, that last game it came up when my river was already too big, but this time it's okay. I can place 3 more tiles and it'll be done. As I say, I think I'm getting the same tiles in the same order as I did last game, but the quests it's giving me are different every time. So it's not actually possible to just plan everything out based on what tiles you're going to get. Which is a better way of doing it, I think. Yeah, I have left enough space to complete all of these quests, which is good. Okay, yeah, I left this hole here knowing I would get a railway end piece, which I would be able to slot into there. And then, yeah, that piece finishes those quests. I'm sort of planning now, based knowing what pieces are coming. I'm planning differently, which is something I couldn't do in the first playthrough. Now, whether that translates into a better score, we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, I've already run out of good places for fields, unfortunately. The other thing to note is you don't get a bonus for perfect placement for tiles on the edge. So even though every edge that I've connected on this tile is good, because it's not completely surrounded, I don't get any bonus for doing that. Yeah, out of good places for trees now as well. I think I'll just have to fill in these last few gaps with whatever tiles I get. This is, yeah, the edge is full. This is 4 out of 6 placed correctly, so that's okay. I can possibly do the same thing again here, where I force river tiles for everything. I don't know whether that's a good idea or not. I'll try it and hope I don't lose. So yeah, if I put this tile here. Oh, this, yeah, that's not forced. Okay, after this it has to give me a river or rail tile, I think. Oh no, I've got one more space down here. That one then, but better off down there. That one there. Right, there we go. Yeah, now it will skip tiles until I can place one. Which, I mean, it matches some of the edges. I think this is going to end up with a smaller score than I got last time, though. I wonder if I'll even be able to place this last tile. It would be amusing if it actually uses up all the tiles here. Okay, well that answers that question. Yes, it is possible to use up all the tiles in the stack by creating a space that it can't generate a tile that fits. It could actually fit it if it generated one of these water train station thingies. That would be the only possible tile that fits there, I think. So that was a worse score. It was going to be a worse score even if I filled in this spot here, because I didn't complete these 2 quests, which I completed last time. I think that was the mistake I made. I should probably have tried to make these water tiles into one continuous river. So yeah, I'll give it one more go. I know I said one more, but I'll do one more, and then if this doesn't work, I'll switch into quick mode or something to end the stream off with. I'll probably be cutting the stream a bit shorter today than I usually do, because I think Heron to Birds will be streaming a party game stream, which I'm sure everybody will love, which I will probably also be joining myself, so we can hop over to that once that's going. I'd like to go here, but I don't think the next water tile has a field on it. So I'll go here instead. Actually, just trying to plan a way that I can finish this quest. Yeah, I might go up there, because then I can do this, finish that quest. Put these tiles here, this here, those quests. Yeah, that's a reasonable start. And I've got houses over here. See where this goes. Not sure which is best here. Probably that. Because mechanic of this tile stack is you can see 3 tiles ahead to what tiles you're going to get, so you can somewhat plan your placements of the next few tiles to account for that. I'll start trees over here. We get quite a few rail pieces that have trees on them later on. So it sort of makes sense to have trees over here. I think I get a bendy piece that will fit here soon. I hope I do and I'm not misremembering, otherwise that will be difficult. I could do that. That doesn't work very well because my river isn't continuous. I'll do that. Pond there. So yeah, I knew there was a rail coming with fields on. I'm thinking just put this rail over here and not worry about connecting it to the rest of the rails. As long as I can get a quest of 4 off of that. Probably means not burying the edges like that. I think that's okay to get 1, 2, 3, 4. And then just leave it there once the quest is finished. And that piece can fit there. Immediately completes that quest. This is a funny shaped river I'm creating, but I think it works. I can do that, and then that's closed it off. And then this piece actually, the next piece can go there. This piece can come over here. Or even over here, where there's trees. Yeah, there works, and then I close that off. That way if I get a quest where I need a smaller river, I can put it there. I'm going to fit 7 in that one. Yeah, this should start a new one. This feels like it should fit. It doesn't. I think I'll take 4 perfect edges on that. Oh, hi there, Verdsky. Thank you for stopping by. Yes, I realise you haven't been feeling too good lately. I'm sorry to hear you have a headache. And yes, enjoy your lurk. I don't know if you've been in any of my other recent dorf streams, but last week and the week before I attempted the speedrun categories of this game, and I ended up getting a record in 3 out of the 4 categories, which was nice. I'm still waiting for 2 of those records to be verified on the leaderboards, but that was exciting. It was also stressful, so today I'm just casually playing the monthly challenge mode of this game, which is not quite as intense as a speedrun. If you want to watch the runs I did at any point, there highlights on my stream page. Okay, yeah, I realised you were out yesterday. Obviously, you not yesterday, last week. You obviously weren't doing your own streams. Oh, thank you. Yes, this is a knitted jumper of some sort. Yes, yes, we have moved into that season, I think, definitely. Yes, so 2 weeks ago now we had unusually hot weather for September here. It didn't quite get to 30 degrees, but it did get to 27, 28, which is not normal for UK in September. But yes, we've settled down to normal autumn weather here now, i.e., grey, lots of rain, your typical British weather. But that's all right with me, especially if I'm indoors streaming. So yes, I won't be posting quite so many flower photos to my Discord, and indeed to your Discord, Verdsky. I think I posted some of them. That is mostly a summer thing, but I might be able to dig up some things from the archives. Let's go here. No, okay. Do I need to get to here? Yeah, I probably won't because I think it's going to have to be the train end piece there. Oh. Yes, my as a botanist, my lifestyle is very much being outdoors in the summer and indoors in the winter when there aren't any pretty flowers to go and look at. Okay, so the good news is the water train station piece is coming up. There we go. That fits nicely there. I'm doing reasonably well with the perfects this time. Do you have any indoor botanical gardens? Not right locally to where I am. There is a huge one in the UK in Cornwall, which I've been to a few times, called the Eden Project. No, I am participating in botany over the winter, but only in attending lectures and annual meetings and stuff, rather than actually going outside. We do have a thing called the New Year Plant Hunt, which involves going out, I think, between the 30th of December and the 2nd of January, but like around New Year. and trying to find as many plants in flower in the world as you can. Um, and it is surprising how many you can find at that time of year. I mean, the same is not necessarily true where you live, Verdsky, but certainly in the UK, we tend to have mild enough winters that sometimes things get confused and flower in the winter. And also, invasive species from other climates can be found flowering in winter. Um, and I think one team went round a city near me one year and managed to find about. Yes, yeah, it's a lot colder up there in the winter. They managed to find about 40 or 50 species flowering in the middle of winter. Yeah, Vancouver, a little different. I think I'll just do that here. Yeah, depending on what sort of winter we're having, you can find things in flower all year round. There are absolutely garden plants that will flower in winter. Um, there's one called winter heliotrope, which is notorious here because of how invasive it is, and it likes to take over entire stretches of road verge. You'll just see winter heliotrope for ages. But it was a garden plant originally. Um, but yeah, and native things, there's only a small number that actually flower in the winter. Yes, heliotrope, like that, yes. I obviously my speciality is British, not British plants, but how flowers grow in Britain. So I don't know what's what elsewhere in the world. I know there are things that are native here that are considered horrible thugs in America because of how invasive they are there. And likewise, there are things that are completely normal wild plants there, and yet here they have to be eradicated because the two the two ecosystems just don't play nicely with each other because they've been separated by thousands of miles of water for millions of years. Yes, well, that's what we call them. We call them thugs. Plants that not only are growing where they shouldn't be, but actively resist any attempt to get rid of them. The most notorious one is one called Japanese knotweed. But as its name suggests, in Japan it's just a normal weed. It's only here that it will completely choke and drown out everything that would normally grow here. And yet, people will plant it, and they won't see the problem because as far as they're concerned, it was only weeds there to start with, and it's just the British weeds are being replaced by foreign weeds, but it's still just weeds. Why do we care? And of course, we care because it's destroying our own ecosystem. In terms of not just the plants, but insects, for example, might require specific plants to be present, and if the insect population suffers, then the birds and mammal populations suffer, and then before you know it, you're reading about how once common species are no longer found here anymore, and you think, well, how did that happen? Yes, I try not to talk about ecology on stream because it's just too depressing of a subject, honestly. But yeah, that's not my job. It's just a hobby, but it's a hobby I take quite seriously and put a lot of effort into. Unlike streaming, at which I'm clearly a rank amateur. Yeah, giant hogweed. Tibago, I don't know if you're still here. I don't know if you're familiar with giant hogweed. Um, That's the one that can actually permanently burn you if you touch it. There aren't many plants in the UK that are actually that dangerous to be around, but there's lots of poisonous plants, but that's one of the few ones that will actually seriously harm you if you even touch it. And yes, it's not native here, but it is all over the place. I've seen it in a number of places. Spotted lanternfly. I've not heard of that one here, unfortunately. But yes. Yeah, yeah, that's what they do. The problem here is just getting the authorities to pay any attention. I've reported giant hogweed, and it's the local government is supposed to come along and get rid of it as soon as it's reported, but they don't. They haven't got the funding in most cases. I have nowhere good to put this tile. I'm going to put it here and hope for the best. Actually, no, I'm going to put it there and hope for the best. Because I can see another water tile coming. Yes. So, giant hogweed looks very similar to hogweed, as the name suggests, only bigger. And hogweed is not particularly nice. It will burn you if you get the sap on you, but you can touch it. And it's a very common weed. You see it in every road verge in the UK. So people are accustomed to that being a normal thing. That you can even get it in your garden as a weed. Giant hogweed is very, very dangerous. I mean, there are a lot of very common weeds in the UK that are very poisonous if eaten, such as hemlock, for example. Yes, so yeah, I use the word verge an awful lot for the strips of grass along the roadside that inevitably fill with weeds, because that's kind of one of my specialities is recording the plants that grow along roads, and it's a surprisingly diverse habitat. There are a lot of places in the country where over-treatment of fields with chemical fertilizers and use of land for housing and so on and so forth has basically eliminated wild plants everywhere else, and the only place where the wild plants are still clinging on is in these little strips of land on either side of a road. And if it's a busy road, then the air movement generated from vehicles actually acts as a pollination mechanism. So you get plants spreading along roads faster than they would spread elsewhere. But yeah, sorry, this is Emma talking about botany. Which is actually a thing you can redeem me to do with channel points, but today I'm doing it for free, apparently. I just realised that we've almost finished this map. There's only a couple of spots left, and I've only scored 3,900 points. Which is my high score is just over 5,000, so we're definitely not getting a high score this time. So I'm glad we talked about something because okay, Verdsky, you don't need to redeem it twice. It's okay. I will refund you that second one because I'm sure there's plenty of other things that you'd rather spend your points on. So yeah, I've refunded one of them. There is a redeem for end stream. I'm not going to do that for free, that's for sure. So yes, I've refunded one of your redeems, Versky, but I will honour the other one. You Ned Selp. If you Ned Selp, then that's fine. I hope you selp well. I'll yeah, I'm just going to finish losing this round of Dorf Romantic, and then I will show Verdsky if she can hang around for a few more minutes. A couple of things that I have shown on stream before related to botany, but I don't think she was here at the time. We're going to be doing this thing again where only railways will play. Last time I actually lost by doing that, but we'll see how it works out this time. Okay, we do get an end piece, which is good. There, finish that quest. We've got 50 tiles. Can we get 3 railways in 50 tiles? We got 1. We got 2. We got 3. Okay. Oh, I was only just short of my high score in the end. 5,020 points. Okay. Right. Yeah. So it is 9:15. So I believe How Birds has started her stream. So we will shift into the end of stream phase now. If I just get things set up here. Change the capture to full screen. Quit out to Dorf. Yes, if Verdsky is still here, which I think she is, she might be interested to see just a couple of things related to not my work, my other hobby, which is botanical recording and botany in general. So there is this website. No, that's fine, Versky. I was going to end it there anyway. There's this website which is bsbi.org, which is the Botanical Society of Britain and Ireland. And you can actually, if you're interested in the botany of the British Isles, you can look at it here. On this website, you can type in the name of a plant, either the English name or the Latin name. For example, this, which is sort of a local speciality for us. And you get this map, which shows everywhere in the country where it grows, color-coded by when it was last recorded. So the black is the most recent. That means it's been recorded since 2020. Pink is the last 10 years. Then blue is 20 years ago. Light blue is 30 years ago. Green is 40 years ago, and so on. And all of this data, which spans most of the UK and quite a bit of Ireland, all collected by volunteers like myself, going out and wandering around the countryside, writing down what plants are there. And I particularly wanted to show you, if I search for something really common, like nettles, which grow absolutely everywhere. The benefit of doing something like this is you can now see where recording effort has taken place, if you like. So the areas that are in black have been recorded since 2020. The areas in pink have been done within the last 10 years. The areas in blue haven't been done for 20 years. You can see that in Ireland, there's not quite so much recording going on. But you will notice a black blob. Let me see if I can. Yeah, I'll draw it. So there is a black blob there. That's me. So that black blob there is the area of the country that I have been recording in over the last 5 years. An area of approximately 300 square kilometers. I have visited every one of those square kilometers and written down all the plants that I found there. Which, I mean, okay, that's quite a small area, especially compared to somewhere like North America, for example, which is a lot bigger than this. But yeah, it's one of those sort of uniquely British things, I think, um, that we have such meticulous records of every little part of the country where every plant grows, because even the most remote areas of the UK are reasonably accessible, um, compared to, well, the wilderness of Canada, for example, which is obviously not going to have this level of data. Nobody's going to go to every square kilometre and write down the plants there. But yes, it's something we're good at in the UK is record keeping. Um, I will show you one other thing. Well, actually, two other things, I think. One other thing I'll show you is, again, for those of you not in the UK, you may not have heard of these, but there is a government agency called Ordnance Survey who produce maps of the UK, and they're mostly used by people doing hiking and that sort of thing, for outdoor pursuits, if you like. But they also see a lot of use by the scientific community and for things like botany in particular. Ordnance survey maps divide the country up into grid squares, which are 1 kilometre by 1 kilometre. Every one of those 1 kilometre squares is a pixel on this map, and every one of them has its own set of botanical records. So yeah, my hobby for the last 4 and a bit years, but I've been sort of involved with it for about 20 years now. But 4 years going out on my own, is every evening in the summer between the months of sort of April and September, when there's daylight after work. So I'm working full time on top of this. I will pick a grid square on this map. I will go there, I will walk around, and I will write down all the plants that are there. And yeah, I can zoom out to about here, and I've I won't dox myself by giving away exactly where I live, but it's somewhere on this map. Um, and I've pretty much covered this whole area, so all of the Mendip Hills, and much of the surrounding area as well. Is that worth it, just 1 square per trip? So the thing is, for you, most of the recording I do is in the evening after work. So I will finish work at 5:30 in the evening, drive somewhere, and it takes 2 or 3 hours to cover 1 kilometre square at least, and then it's dark. So I can only do one at a time. At weekends, I will go out for the whole day and do multiple squares, but by multiple, I only mean like 3 or 4. Covering 30 square kilometers would take weeks. It's not just walking that distance in a straight line. You've got to go everywhere within that area. It's not Axbridge, and yes, Verdsky, you might recognise Cheddar. I think Cheddar Gorge, which is this little strip here, is quite a famous landmark. So even people overseas will have heard of it. I don't live in Cheddar Gorge, no. But yeah, Cheddar Gorge is quite a famous landmark. It's like a UNESCO World Heritage Site, I think, and it is very, very botanically interesting. There are more plants growing in that little gorge than there are like in the whole rest of this map, to be honest with you. Well, yes, Cheddar is also famously the home of cheddar cheese, which is something I'm sure that you enjoy, Vertsky. Uh, yes, I have to walk around it, and yes, identifying plants is quite hard work. There's a lot of squatting available. Where was Cheddar invented which building? So there are some caves just here. You see it says Cox's Cave there and Goff's Cave there. Traditionally, the cheddar cheese was placed in caves while it aged, which they still do a couple of places, I think. So yeah, if I had to point to somewhere where cheddar was invented, it would be here at the foot of Cheddar Gorge. But yes, there are species of the orangest tint. So the orangest tint, the original orange coloured cheese. Original cheddar cheese was not originally orange coloured. There's a type of cheese called Red Leicester, which was the first one to be orange coloured, and that is also from the UK. It's from the city of Leicester, as its name suggests. But yes, the traditional cheddar cheese was a sort of creamy, pale yellow color. Um, hello, the RE77. Sorry, my stream title still says Dorf Romantic, which is absolutely not the case. Um, I will correct that to avoid confusing anyone. Um, we're just talking about Cheddar Gorge at the moment. So there are species of tree that grow in Cheddar Gorge that do not grow anywhere else in the world, um, and they were actually oh. Well, that's unfortunate timing because I think Max Piper probably still thought I was playing Dorf Romantic because he's a Dorf player. Hello, Max Piper, and your raiding party of 4 people, including Hazel Seeker. Um, thank you very much for the raid. Sorry you missed the Dorf. But yes, I do stream Dorf Romantic on Fridays. I also stream Scrabble on Saturdays and Polybridge on Sundays if you want to check out those streams. And thanks again for the raid. Yes, I was just talking about the botany of the area where I live. And I was explaining to Verdsky, who is a Canadian who's very interested in these things. There are species of tree that grow in Cheddar Gorge that don't grow anywhere else in the world, and they were only identified as a separate species in like 2009, um, which was very very recent to identify new species in somewhere that's as well covered as this. Um, but yes, there's the Latin name for the tree is Sorbus cheddarensis, which is obviously named after Cheddar Gorge. And there's actually another gorge just up the road, Bristol, um, the Avon Gorge, which also has its own species of tree that was only identified very recently. Mac X Piper, this is a big dwarf. Yes, this is in fact the biggest dwarf because this is the real world. Yes, I kind of forgot to change my stream title. I was doing Dorf Romantic up until about 5 minutes ago. I think I will actually switch back to Dorf Romantic just briefly because I do want to say I do want Mac X Piper to see my big dwarf. I know that's something he was excited to see before. Yeah, when you went to do your raid, it would have still said Dorf Romantic. So on my stream today, I was actually trying out the monthly mode of Dorf. I didn't do very well. I got 67th place on the leaderboard. But I will switch over to this. Just for anybody who maybe has just come in with the raid, who wants to see the scale of Dorf Romantic when you've been playing it long enough. This is my big classic mode map, and I have. It's a train driver's nightmare. Let's put it that way. this section of it certainly. But yes, I have been trying to keep it all nice and organised. I've got the trees over here. I've got the houses over here. I've got the fields over here. And I've tried to keep the edges as sort of nice and but I haven't necessarily remembered to do that everywhere. Thanks very much, Hazel Seeker, for the follow. If Dorf is your thing, and I suspect it is, given that you've just come in on a raid from Max Piper, you'll be pleased to know that I stream it every Friday, starting at around 8 o'clock, which I don't know where you are in the world, Hazel, but I know Max Piper, you are German, so you're an hour ahead. So it would be about 9 o'clock your time. And Verdsky, thank you very much for the sub. That's very much appreciated. I think you're still in time to get a founder badge, so do enjoy that. Portugal, okay, yeah, so it's about the same time for you, Hazel. Yes, Verdsky, you have your founder badge and you've discovered my emotes. Yes, subscribing to this channel not only is an amazing thing to do and shows how much you love and support me, but you also get these emotes, and aren't they just amazing? And encourage you to support the artist who created them. Twitch has a nice feature now where if you click on an emote, it will actually tell you the artist and link to their Twitch. Mushloon is amazing. She's a streamer herself. She does Stardew Valley, if that's your sort of thing. I encourage you to check out her stream. And yeah, I haven't actually been playing my big dwarf today. I've just sort of... It's got to the point where I don't play it. I just sort of get it out to show everyone every now and then. Oh, Makex Piper is doing a 80s synth music stream. That sounds very interesting. Thank you, Verdsky. Yes, I do love them as well. Yes, when the map gets this big, it does actually start to be a bit laggy to play it. Like if I try and rotate this tile while it's next to all these forest quests, it sort of lags a bit. And you spend most of your time just panning around the map trying to find a place to put the tile. It takes a long time to go around the whole map now. But yes. You build permission to wiki. So unlike, I don't know if you've seen, I can't remember his name. Luke somebody, there's another German Dorf streamer who's managed to build an entirely perfect Dorf. Every single tile placement is a perfect. I have not managed that. I've only managed to get 95% of them perfect. But that's enough to effectively never run out of tiles, so I'm happy with that. At the moment, now that I've got that far, most of them are now perfect around the edges because there's just about guaranteed to be somewhere to place every tile that's a perfect placement. I can just hunt around the edge until I find somewhere perfect. All perfect is possible, Makex Piper. Yes, it's very difficult and requires a lot of work, but I have seen somebody do it on stream. I'm just going to actually look up their name because I think you'd be interested in their stream. If you give me one moment. I think it's... it's not that guy. Yes, this guy. Let me do a shout out.
Hubi haut hier so einen ganzen Linkbaum raus. Warte mal, was passiert, wenn ich den...
Right. You can tell they're German because I just accidentally played part of their stream and they were talking German. Luke Ainsworth streams a variety of puzzle games, but one of those is Dorf Romantic, and I think they actually have the #1 high score on the hard mode, and I think they managed to get all perfect placements on that as well. So yeah, definitely check out their stream, and yeah, if you thought this was a big Dorf, their Dorf is even bigger. I'll put it that way. But yeah, so yeah, I had a bit of a mixture of the end of this stream because I was going to end, and then I showed Verdsky some botany, and then I showed Makex Piper some Dorf Romantic, so a bit of a muddle. But yes, I'll switch back over to this just to show Makex Piper. This is the other thing I do in my spare time when I'm not streaming. Is I volunteer as a botanist, so I go around the countryside in the UK writing down the plants that I see. And this map shows everywhere that botanical recording is happening, and the black areas are... sorry, yes, I'll just call you Piper. Sorry, I should have done that. Yes, Piper. The black areas are where the recording has been done recently, as in the last 3 years. And this black blob here, that's me. And it does feel, I mean, it's taken me a few years, but it does feel like quite an accomplishment when you can look at a map of your whole country and point to an area that you've covered. Do I have my book handy? That is a good point. If you give me one moment here, let's go to the camera. So one of the things that happens with the botanical recording is every 20 years, the results that you saw on the screen there are collated into a big publication with like a summary explaining what's the trends with each plant, and that is published. It's published online. It is also published as a book. It's published as a book largely for historical reasons, because there's far too much data to have conveniently in a book. And I will go and get the book. I think it's in here. Yes. It's quite big. And my camera is flipped. So this says Plant Atlas 2020 backwards. This is all the botany recording from 2000 to 2020 in the UK. And when I say all the recording, obviously this isn't all the results. What this is, if I get the book out, it break my desk. Each of these pages is a map of the UK. You'll have to use your imagination because it's backwards, showing the distribution of the plants. And obviously, there's each page of the book has 4 species on, and then it goes through the book. Why backwards? Because my face cam is mirrored. I can actually unmirror it. And now it says Plant Atlas 2020 forwards. Yeah, so this data is available online, and there's really no reason to have it as a book. Somebody suggested to me it would be good as a coffee table book, but I'm not sure my coffee table is actually strong enough to support it. But I just have it because it's a nice sort of physical memento of 20 years of work as a botanist. And yeah, we are currently working towards the next Plant Atlas, which will be published around 2040, all being well. So we're only 3 years in, but then if I switch back to the map, the black areas are the areas that have been recorded since 2020. So we've got another 17 years to cover this entire map, and that's a lot of looking at plants to do. So we probably won't manage to do it all, but there we go. It is entirely reliant on volunteers such as myself going out. So I work full time, and then when I finish work at about 5:30 every evening, between about April and September, I go out and look at plants. So yeah, I sort of explained all this before, but just doing it again for the benefit of Hazel and Piper, who seem very interested. So I'm just coming up to the 2-hour mark on my stream. I do sometimes go beyond 2 hours, but today in particular, there is another streamer who I follow about to start a party game stream, and I was going to raid into them. So I will do that. They are a member of the Scrabble community. So I stream Scrabble on Saturdays, as well as this game on Fridays and Polybridge on Sundays. So I'm just going to check if they're live, which they are. This is Heron to Birds, who is another Scrabbler. Teabagger, yes. There are some places in Wales and Scotland that are very hard to map to. This is true, yes. I've sort of only showed you England at the moment because that's where I am, but yes. The recording in Scotland is a lot more difficult because it's very mountainous. And to an extent, parts of Wales are very mountainous as well. So we are going to raid into Heron to Birds. Scrabble is not your game at all. No, that's fine. And of course, Piper, English would not be your native language, so English Scrabble would be particularly difficult for you. But yes, it's just something that I enjoy doing. The Scrabble community on Twitch and on the internet in general is very small, but it's all very sort of tight knit, and there's a good community there, I think. So I'm going to raid Heron to Birds. Yes, Verdsky, it'd be great to play you at Scrabble if you can make it. I will be streaming tomorrow at about this time again. So thank you very much, everybody, for watching the stream. Thank you in particular, Verdsky, for subscribing. Thanks, Piper, for the raid, and all of Piper's viewers for joining the raid. Thank you, Few, for showing up and your usual charm. Um, and I hope to see many of you again tomorrow. Bye for now.